Black History Special, and I'm here with Frank Gilliard from the Central Pennsylvania African American Museum. And we have this shirt here, which is a map of the Underground Railroad in Reading.
Yes.
And according to this map, we would start in
Pine Forge Academy, which is called Pine Forge Academy. At that time, it was called Pine Forge. It was a forge, and they would have traveled from Montgomery County, which is Pottstown, into Pine Forge at that time. The average slave could only do approximately 8 to 10 miles a day because of the thickness of the forest.
Were they usually traveling in packs, or were they traveling alone?
The most packs that they would travel in would be by Harry Tutman, and that would be no more than 6 to 8.
Okay.
Because the more people you have traveling, it's harder to get them to stay together, and it's hard for them to be disguised to run away.
And what would they disguise themselves as?
Well, they would disguise themselves with different clothing and different things like that, but the thing is that most slaves moved at night, and they followed the North Star, which was the brightest star. If they moved them during the daytime, then they moved them in wagons or other things that were disguised or converted to move them more quickly and more easily.
Okay. So the next stop would be Hopewell
Furnace. There the slaves would work, there they would hide, and they would earn money to either navigate to go up the canal to get quicker passageway towards going to the north. When they left Pine Forge, they would either go over to Six Pennies, or they would go over to Isaac Cole, or they would go over to the Johanna Furnace, or they would stop at White Bear. There they would be put up for the night or for the day until it was safe enough for them to go to the next safe station. And then when they're leaving the Birdsboro area, they would come over what we call the Clapperthorpe Junction. And their first stop would either be Washington, the old Washington Street Presbyterian Church at Washington and Mulberry Street, or they would come a half a block from there at the old Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, which is now used as Central Pennsylvania African American Museum. There today you will still find the trap door where the slaves was hid until it was safe enough for them to go to the next station.
And after that, they would head just further up north?
They would head further up north. They would either most likely headed over to Kirbyville, which is over there on 222. And if they found it was difficult to continue to go towards Allentown, they would double back over Willow Creek, and then they would stop at the Parvin Estate, which is at 61 in Snyder Road. And there they would either go directly from there by foot to Hamburg, or they would take the canal into Hamburg, which was at 40 North 4th Street in Hamburg. That would be their last stop in Berks County. Their next stop would then be in Oryxburg in Schuylkill County. And
where were they headed? What was their final destination? Where were they going?
They would head up towards Scranton, Williamsport, Wilkes-Barre, into Ithaca, New York, into Rochester, New York, on into Niagara Falls, Niagara, New York, and of course a rope bridge into Canada. And that's where they're. And Harriet Tubman is buried somewhere up around Rochester, New York. That is her homestead, and they also have a museum there that you can stop. But Harriet Tubman carried more slaves out of slavery than anybody else, and she was called the Moses of the Underground Railroad, and she never lost a passenger.
I never knew that, really.
No.
She never ever lost one?
No.
I had no idea.
If you threaten to turn back, then your life was in danger, because you would give the secret away, or the passageway to freedom. So she always carried a weapon with her.
Really?
So if you mentioned that you were going to turn around, you were threatened, your life is threatened. With children, they use opium to dope up the children so that they would not cry, and keep them doped up most of the time on the voyage going north. Otherwise, the crying and stuff like that would give them away, and they would not be able to make their freedom.